All right, good morning everyone. Yes, welcome back to Dank Scott Traders Hub. I believe you guys you're good, you're having a great time, and I believe yesterday was a good time. If you're here yesterday, I believe you made a lot of money. Those who are on VIP, of course, I shared the signals that of course we made some money on. Yeah, so without any further ado, you know the drill. Let's pray and get started. Father, we thank you for this beautiful morning. Thank you that we are back here. Thank you that you've given us a good morning. You've given us a great day yesterday, and we are saying thank you. Thank you for yesterday's profits. Thank you for the insights that you gave us on the signals, Lord. And even today we ask of the same, even greater, Lord. Thank you that we're going to make even much more money than yesterday. Thank you that the insights that you're giving, they're going to be, we're going to use them to our advantage. We give you praise. We love you. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen and amen. All right, so as usual, we don't waste time. We start with crush 500. So let's get into crush 500. All right, so yesterday, those who were with us yesterday on the analysis, we talked of crush 500, and this is where we were. I told you guys that this is likely to be a level where we're going to see the anticipation to go back there to try to take the highs or to come to this. Why? Because we had seen that change of character, and exactly that's what happened. So we saw this move. I wanted to first take advantage of this move, of which I took this first one, but I failed to take profits. It came and took me out on break even. Then I made another entry. I think it was a bit early. I entered it a little bit early, and it was taken out immediately. But look at that. That was yesterday's anticipation, which eventually, of course, I believe, though you guys, if you followed it, you should have made that money. But this was a bit late for you guys to take this sale, because this was late night. Yeah, this was late night, around 11 midnight, around 1 p.m. This would have been the entry for the sale. Yeah, it reached that level, and look at that, the sale is currently on. So congrats to everyone that was able to make this money, and now we can delete everything right here. Delete that, delete this and this. Now we are on this move that we talked about yesterday. So this is the move that we are seeing currently. Down below here, I'm not going to use this. Yes, it is a conference area, but down below here there is an order block where this buy move started from. So it's the ideal support level or ideal order block. And apparently we are seeing prices right there. It's where price is. Price has reached that area, and to confirm that area to be an area of resistance, or an area where price is going to be rejected from, you can see according to CCI and RSI, price is oversold currently. You can see that price is oversold, meaning we may see another pullback. Price can easily go back up there like that, and then keeps playing around here until it gets enough momentum to break through and continue with the buy. But remember, according to H1, we already have that as our change of character, so it means anything is possible. Price can easily get momentum out of nowhere and break through, because we are not market makers, we are market movers. So we are market followers. We just follow market. We are not market movers, not market makers. We just follow what these guys do. So if it gets any momentum to break through here, then you know what to do. Just enter your sales down below here if it breaks this level. But as of now, no business with it. Let's go to H4. H4, of course, we are still selling, and you can see that's what we talked about yesterday. So like I said, congrats to those that followed this analysis yesterday on crush 500. Now let's go to H4. So the current H4 is going to close within 18 minutes. Then the new H4 will start. Now that H4 may or may not, let me show you this. This is the move that we need. Of course, we are looking for sales. That's a general trend currently on crush 500. So this is the move I'm talking about. There's this fair value gap right about there, right there. So price can easily go for that. Price can easily go for that, and then get into sells again. So that is trick. This pullback is according to H1. Why? Because it is oversold, but for it to come through, it has to match with M15. So M15 is not yet ready to give us this pullback, you know. So we are likely to see this pullback only and only if M15 gives us a confirmation. Only and only if M15 gives us a confirmation. So for now, we can't. Why? Because M15 is in a downtrend. M15 is in a down. Is it? I think so. Yeah. So for now, I can't. I need to see a reversal here for this kind of a pullback for me to make sense of it and enter it. But remember, if it is just a pullback, then sometimes it may not even give you a reversal signal. It may just continue and, you know, continue to it may just continue to that level, and then later gets back into the general trend, of which I've already told you the general trend is a sell according to H1, according to H4. But if price fails to come and break this, then it will keep on playing around here until it gets enough momentum to break this support level. And clearly it is a support, actually, looking at all this other side right about there. That becomes a support level. So if it fails to come, once it mitigates this liquidity and it fails to come and break this support, then it will go back up to test that level again and then come back. It will keep on playing within there until it gets enough momentum to break this support and continue with sales. So how do we trade this? Just don't. For now, you can leave it, but you may not leave it. Actually, why am I saying you may not leave it? Let me show you this. Yesterday we were here. This is where we were yesterday, and price gave us that entry to push back that price there. But now it has come back to this order block. First delete this. Now it has come to this. It has come to that order block. That is another entry for the buy. Why? We are oversold right here. Yes, price is still above, is still way far from our 10 MA on daily time on H1, but that doesn't mean that we can't enter on the lower time frame. On the lower time frame, according to M15, we have a break of structure. That's why I'm skeptical to enter now, but it is price is above our 10 MA, which is a good thing. So all we need is price to fail to break that, or it breaks it and then it comes back down to test down below, probably the order block on M5, probably down below here. So for now, I can't enter. I have to wait for another pullback to give me a perfect entry, just something like that. Then I can look for this kind of an entry right about there. So for now, no business. I will just keep holding. I will wait. All right, that's it on Crash 500. Let's now head over to Boom 1000. Good morning, Desmond. Good morning, Judy. How are you guys? And everyone who is on the live stream, welcome. So Boom 1000. Now Boom 1000, yesterday, those who remember, we were anticipating a heads and shoulder, an inverted heads and shoulder right there to come in with our buys. And of course I entered buys here. let me show you. I did enter, and you can see where it went to our first TP, almost there, you can see that, and then it came back again. Now I was off the market, but I had left my stop loss in profits, so it came and took me out right there. You can see that it came and took me out, and then spiked again, went back into the buys, and then later came all the way back into sells. So I hope those who had followed this, you should have made some money on these 2-3 candles that spiked. That was some good money right there, because that was anticipation of what? Of an inverted heads and shoulder, and it came through, even though it did not continue due to this resistance right here. So now I can delete everything here, and I want to see what is happening right now. So now from what we see something like this. We see something like that. This is according to H1. We see something like that, and clearly this kind of a structure will tell you, will eventually, you know, signify continuation of previous trend. And the continuation of previous trend, of course, the previous trend is a sell. This is the move that we anticipate. This is the move right there. Now let's go to H4. Let's look at it. Go to daily. All right, so daily has broken out, and remember guys, before we actually got into before we actually got into this rest that we were in for the 2 weeks, I told you it left this liquidity down below on that order block. It never came to test it. That's why you see this arrow right here. I told you that we may get a fake breakout right about there, and then we get back into sales. Why? It is because of weekly we had that as a change of character, so this was just a pullback to confirm the reversal on the weekly time frame to usher us into sales. And clearly you can see from that very level, you saw rejection. Price was being rejected to continue the buys, and now as we speak we are seeing sort of like a breakout right here that is likely to usher us into sales for some good time. On the daily time frame we are overbought. It's a good thing on the daily time frame. On the weekly, of course, we are looking for sales. That is where we have our change of character. But then on the H4 we are not yet ready to sell, even though we are seeing this as a break of structure as we speak. That is seen as a break of structure, but still in a with a weird momentum. So if we know that, then we know that we've already seen this kind of a structure on H1, which clearly shows or tells us that we are continuing with sales. So if I go to M15, all I need is a confirmation to enter sales. I know now that I need to continue with sales, but how will I enter them? That is the question. So I have to be patient. I have to be a little bit patient, because M15 is not giving me that. I think I was late. This was supposed to be our perfect entry, but when it came to that trend line, or just when it went below that 10 MA, that could have been our second entry. So for now I cannot enter unless here it gave us this kind of a pullback. We may not see this same pullback here again, so it's likely to continue down below So but if it happens, we are not market makers, no market movers, so if it happens and gives us something like that, then we enter. But I doubt it is going to do that, because the previous move, it gave us that. Normally when it gives you that, the next move it doesn't. So most of the times I can show that to you right here. You can see when it touched there, it did not give us the pullback, it continued on with a sell. Then it came and touched again, then gave us a pullback, it went all the way down to touch the trend line. Now it has come back again, it may not give us that. So that's why I'm skeptical about this move. But if it happens, then we are in luck to make that entry. According to M15 on the CCI, it would be a good thing for us to get something like that, and that's how we could enter ourselves comfortably, knowing that they are likely to come through and even break and continue with the sell. So for now, no business, no business, no business. It's likely to continue all the way. It's likely to continue all the way down below here, and then we can come in with a buy. It's likely to continue like that. So for now, let's just be patient and we wait and see what will come through. But remember, we are going to see something like this. We're going to see something like this, continuing all the way down. That will be our first TP level right there. All right, that's enough on Boom 1000. Let's go to Boom 500. Boom 500. Yeah, the sell. Those who remember, I told you about this sell and we sold it. We sold it. That was a trade there. So that was a sell. It first. This is where I had put my TP on that conference area, and it hit it and actually continued. It had enough momentum to continue, so it continued. This would have been our second TP. So our first TP was there. Those who remember yesterday's analysis, I told you that. So for now, remove the history, move that, and now it has given us a fake breakout. Is it a fake breakout? Not really. In fact, this has to come around here. Now has to be like this. This has to be like this. All right, so now we have another structure, a new structure that has been formed. We have a high, a low, a high there, then a low right down below. So now we know price is coming in with buys as we speak. So according to H1, we are oversold. According to H4, we are oversold. According to M15, what are we? We are oversold. We are looking for buys already, but we sort of getting to what is here, what is holding price right here. It's being held up, price is being held up right about there. This tells us the price is likely to come again down to touch this trend line or this order block, and then we get back into the buys. Then we get back into the buys. That's how we're going to see enough momentum to break this level. So these are my two anticipations. Remember, we are looking for this kind of a move this is the move that we're looking at later. So till then, we are not ready to make this. So for now, you can see according to M5, it's actually selling heavily and even on M15 it's almost getting below 10 ms, so it's still selling. Can we enter this sell? I don't think I can. It is a bit late and it's not even the general trend, so you rather wait for the general trend. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Oh, okay, this was a change of character right about there. So price came to test it. Now it's going all the way down. It's coming to this OB. It's coming to this OB. So those who are risk takers, you can enter your sell and have your stop loss above this 10 MA. Above this 10 MA if you're a risk taker. If you're not, then you leave the trade and wait for these perfect moves on these levels. Wait for confirmation of entry on these two levels. We have an entry here. If it fails to break, then we will enter here, but if it breaks, then our entry may be on this trend line. So for now, I will wait. All right, that's it on Boom 500. Please remember to give us a thumbs up if it is your first time here. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, but give us a thumbs up. It means a lot to me when you like the stream. Thank you so much in advance. V251S. Volatility 251S. Now this was the one which was a bit tricky. Remember I told you guys yesterday, this is where remember I told you that I don't see it go back up there because it had not left any liquidity, but those were the highs, so it eventually went back. So remember we first made our small entry where I think it was here. I was taken out during the trade, during the analysis, right there, and I did not enter again. Why? Because the buyers gained some momentum, weird momentum that kept pushing. You can see that this was not confirmed as a point of interest, as a high there, so it was broken out and it continued with the buys. So now I can easily delete everything here. So this was not followed at all. So now we need to make a new analysis. So we wanted this. Well, that's what we wanted. Price had already touched here, so it was trying to go back to look for the other trend line, but I told you it's likely not to find it. It's likely not to get to it, and some reasons that I told you that is because this was already taken out right about there. It can easily come back to it. That's why I had that order block drawn there. But if we are using that as an order block, then we may even use that whole candle right there on that H4, and clearly you'll see it has touched it again. So meaning we are likely not to see price go beyond that area. You're seeing rejection right there, rejection there, and I believe we should be starting our sales there, even though daily is oversold, even though our daily time frame is oversold. That's where the tricky part is. But I told you a structure like this is a flag, so it gives us continuation of the previous trend that is a sell. So it means we are likely to see this kind of a move which will push us all the way to probably this OB down below, that support level, and that's what we are anticipating, sells. So if I go to H4, I should be getting a confirmation to enter sells. So I don't have it on H4, but I can wait on H1. So H1 is currently oversold right there. You can see it is oversold right on CCI and RSI right there. So that tells us that M15 is going to be looking for a buy to come back to try and take these highs, but then it will fail, and then we will come in with our sells comfortably. So if we know this, let's go to M15. So M15 is not yet ready, but it will be ready for this kind of a pullback, which will confirm the sells. So until then, don't waste your time on this. Just wait for the confirmation of sells on M15, and that's how we will be able to make this trade. And this, when this happens, don't be surprised if it breaks and continues all the way down below, like we've talked about on the daily time frame. This may be a swing trade to push all the way down below. When it confirms on H1, we may see a swing trade to push all the way down below according to daily time frame. We may swing it all the way down below. So for now, let's wait for the confirmation on M15 to give us that perfect entry right about there. V75. Now V75, let's see. I told you it had a low momentum, and that was the move I was anticipating. You can see it happened, but I could not have risked to enter that move. If I go to H4, yeah, a sell should be starting now, but H4 is not ready still. I don't know why. Let's go to daily time frame. What is happening here? It's still, oh yes, yes, according to daily we're supposed to be selling. Yeah, why? Because we had a breakout and that was a retest, and now we should be continuing. Why? Because price is still below our 10 MA, which confirms sells. The sellers are in control, even though H4 is currently this is weird. Break of structure right here. This is a break of structure. Price has come back to that level, so sales should be starting there. So what is happening? Let's go to H1. H1 price is above our 10 MA, and it has somehow given us a change of character. That will be considered as a change of character. That is a lower low, lower high. Now that lower high has been taken out, meaning this is where we see a change of character. It means the buys on H1 are in control. All right, so it's still weird, so I have to delete these two. First delete these two. According to H1, the buyers are coming into control because of that change of character. But then on M15, we are overbought, but we cannot consider that as a signal. Why? Because price action tells us that we are having a break of structure, meaning we are continuing with buys. All right, so that's enough to understand what is happening. So it means H1 is going to continue to where? To such a level. To such a level, and then when it reaches there, that's where we should be anticipating sales according to H4. That's where we should be anticipating sales according to H4. But if it breaks it, there's also a possibility of it breaking this level and then going back inside that structure. Going back inside that structure. We are not market makers, we are market followers. The reason why I'm saying this, remember on the daily time frame, we are oversold right there, meaning buyers should be taking charge, but price is still below a 10 MA. So if price goes above a 10 MA and breaks this level on H4, then we will not see sells. We will actually see a change of character according to daily time frame. This will be where we will anticipate a change of character right about there. So once that happens, know that we have shifted. We have now gone into an uptrend. So bear that in mind as you trade V75. It's still risky for you to make any decisions apparently, but like I've told you, on H1 we are in an uptrend, meaning you can look for buys. You can look for buys. So for now, don't look for any sells, look for buys as you are trading, and don't trade beyond this level. This is a conference area, so if you're trading, aim at taking your profits right there. That will be your maximum TP level, and close your trades until it breaks out again, and then you can continue. So for now, wait for buys confirmation and make that entry of buys. Don't look for sells. Enough of that. Let's now head over to J50. We have about 21 minutes. J50, jump 50. So jump 50, this was a good trade. Of course, I told you, let's first go to M15. Yeah, M15. Okay, first H1. I told you we will anticipate something like that, then we come in with sales later. Why? Because it was not yet ready to give us sales, so it had to react to that level, of which that was an order block right there. And that's what happened. When it did that and price went above my 10 MA, you clearly see that I did not waste any time. I immediately entered my buys, of which buys came and hit my TP right there on that level, and then I closed. Then as it started to sell, I was a bit I rushed into that sell. Why? Because I did not wait for it to be below my 10 MA, and you can see that caused me problems because it was taken out and it actually broke out and continued with the buys. But this buy move, we got it. Those who followed the analysis, you should have also made that money of that kind of a buy all the way to that level. So now let's talk of now. So so we wanted that, and then a sell later. Why were we looking for a sell? Because we were overbought, so it decided to break and actually continue all the way back to get those highs according to daily time frame. Let's go to H4, and now let's go to weekly, and now on the weekly time frame we have a breakout. This previous candle here, weekly candle, you can see it was a rejection. It came back here and now got enough momentum to break out, and now as we speak we see a breakout. Is it going to continue? Let's try to understand it. Let's delete that. So this is weekly, that is monthly. Monthly should be sales continuing. So what does that mean? Is it a fake breakout, or it is trying to give us a new high? It's likely trying to give us a new high. So let's go to weekly. Go to daily. Daily says we need sales, but we are sort of seeing some weird break of structure. It's not yet a valid break of structure that we can consider on the daily time frame, even on H4. So we can't say we have a break of structure for now, so we wait for the day to end. But according to H4 and daily time frame, we should be coming in with sales. According to H4, that is what I'm seeing right there on H4. But then on H1, I'm actually sort of seeing a pattern that I normally like to follow. So price is below my 10 MA on this candle. Remember, new H4 has started, and you can see it is starting as a sell. So I'm going to leave this asset alone. The reason being, I want a confirmation of change of character. I want price to break this. I want price to break that. So if it breaks that, then the anticipation will be simple. Price to come there, or here, and then we get in with our sales either there or up there. That is how I will be anticipating. I'll be anticipating this. So for now, no business with this asset. Delete everything there, and let's move on to another asset, J25. J25. All right, yep, the buy happened, and now we are seeing a confirmation of the change of character. Remember, I told you I wanted to enter around there if it makes this pullback. So the pullback happened, but it did not come to this OB. I wanted it to come to this OB at least, but it did not come to the OB. Now this is on H1, so it gave us that confirmation of a change of character, because that is a higher low. I mean, this is a lower high right there, and price has broken it, meaning that's a change of character. We have a higher high, so it has come to test it to give us a higher low right here, meaning we have started an uptrend. But we can only say we've started an uptrend if price breaks this higher high right here. If price breaks this high, then we will confirm that the uptrend has started. Now, as it is doing that, it has given us a structure or a pattern that we can take advantage of. Of course, we know it's going to be this very move, and we will be looking for that, meaning it's likely to break and give us that confirmation that we are looking for, and it will be coming to those highs right about there, and that will be our trade. So can we enter now? I believe we were late. We should have entered, but M15, it seems it is likely to come again down below before it goes into the buy to break and give us that kind of a trade that we want. So this is a trade that is likely to give us some money today, and I believe I will trade it if it does what I'm looking for. If it fails to break this trend line here, then it will come down below, and I'll be ready to make that entry. I will be ready to make that entry. But like I've said, it's likely sometimes it doesn't come because it has already mitigated that level. It has already come back to that level. It can easily come for this fair value gap and then bounce and break through. So just be patient. This can be our ideal level. This can be our ideal level. So for now, just be patient. All right, that is enough on J25. That's enough on J25. We'll leave it at M15. Let's now go to J10, our second last before we go to gold, and call it a day. So this was tricky. Let me see. I think I made a loss here. Yes, it was that. I was looking for what was I looking for? Not understanding this. I was looking for a buy. Why was I looking for a buy? Oh, to break out. But then why? Oh yes. I think previously this trend line was here. I think it was here like that. I think it was there. So yeah, it was here. Yesterday's trend line was there. So that's how I made that loss. I was looking for the buy there, having seen the breakout, but it spiked and took me out, and then it tested there, and then boom, it went for the buy that I was looking for already. So that's how I made a loss right there. So now that we know this, I want to go to H4. And to go to H4, see price went back to that trend line and then started to sell. Alright, but why sell? Okay, there's a liquidity down below here. Probably it's looking for this fair value gap right here. Yeah, and then get us back into buys. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, so can we sell? M15, not really. H1 is still selling. H4 is also looking for buys. So come to M15. There's rejection already coming in from buyers, but then this is a liquidity that was left back, so it tells us that price has to first grab it. I think it might be a must for price to grab this liquidity on this fair value gap, because it is an H4 fair value gap. So even though we are not seeing momentum for sales, we are seeing rejection, we are likely to see a spike and grab that liquidity, and then we get back into buys. So for now, I'm not going to enter this asset. I will wait for buys. Why? Because the general trend is a buy. The general trend is a buy. Remember that as you trade, the general trend is a buy. So as we wait for price to mitigate this liquidity on this fair value gap, then you must wait for the buys. Don't look for sells. There's a lot of rejection coming in from buyers, so you don't need to risk and enter any sells. You rather wait for a confirmation of buys. Enough of that. Let's now head over to our last asset. This was J10. I forgot to write it. That was J10. Now we are heading to gold. Let's go to gold, and we call it a day. So gold, yesterday I told you this will happen, and it happened. And of course I made that entry. You can see it. That was my entry. After the breakout, I made that entry to reach that conference area, or to reach those high, our previous high there. You can see that. That was the buy trade that I talked about in yesterday's analysis. So it happened. Remember the reason why we looked for this kind of a move? It was because of that, and that is what exactly happened. Reached there and eventually even gave us a break of structure right there, and currently you can see that it's continuing with the buys. So congrats to everyone that followed this analysis and made the buy on that gold. All right, so what are we talking about today? Let's first delete all this. We needed a sell here. When it reaches here, I did not enter that sell because the momentum was still strong for buys. So let's go to H4, see what is happening. H4, still we have a break of structure right about there. Let's go to daily. Daily, it is overbought, but we have a break of structure. Weird. Very weird. Very weird. All right, so let's go to weekly. Something is strange. All right, so weekly we have also a break of structure. Wow. So we are still very bullish. Still very bullish, but we have to wait for a pullback to test the breaker block. This is a breaker block right about there where price broke structure from. We can even consider this level right here where price broke structure from. So we need price to come to such areas, these levels, so that we can continue with buys, because the general trend is an uptrend. But we cannot continue with an uptrend unless price comes and tests, gives us a higher low. According to weekly, it has to give us a higher low. According to daily, this was another break of structure and it has continued. So for it is continuing. So it's a bit weird. H4, H1. The momentum of buyers is reducing slowly. So anytime sellers will come through, even though we are seeing a weak high up there on both time frames, or almost all time frames, it tells you that we are still strongly bullish. But that doesn't take away the pullback option. There has to be a pullback. Why? This is a reason. There's a lot of liquidity left here, fair value gap right there. But also when we go to daily time frame and weekly, you realize we have this level was never tested. When it gave us a new higher high, it has to come for that level, yeah, on that breaker block. So it has to come back. There's a lot of liquidity left back there. Where this move started, you can see where this buy move started. So it has to come to test such a level. So before it does that, we just have to be patient, and we have to be patient. We need to see a reversal signal for us to anticipate this pullback move. So until then, no business. Don't trade anything, whether sell or buy. Don't even risk trying to scalp this asset right where we are. It is very risky for you to scalp it. Very risky where we are currently. So you rather leave it and wait for a reversal signal for us to come in with a sell, of which we know it will be a pullback sell, to probably come to that level like this, or to a breaker block down below here, and then we get back into the buys. Enough of gold. Let's do a recap and we call it a day. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, give us that like. If it is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. It helps us a lot. It means a lot to us. All right, so we started with crash 500. We started with crash 500. So I told you, yeah, I told you I need a pullback here, then I can enter, and then I can enter my buys. So the pullback has started. The pullback has started. So now we know if it comes down below here and fails to break, to give us a break of structure, then we know we have our entry for the buy to take us all the way back to that fair value gap to grab that liquidity. And that fair value gap, I told you, is according to H4 right there. That is a fair value gap we are talking about. So grab that liquidity, get back into sales. Why? Because the general trend is a sell. That's the general trend. So for now, leave it at M15. We wait. Boom 1000. Yeah, I told you we were late to make that sell, and I told you we may not see the pullback so that we can get a clear entry. So the sell has continued. We can wait for the buy. remember, the general trend is a sell. We are continuing with sells all the way down below here. We are likely to see it come all the way here. So for now, leave it at M15 as it is continuing to sell. Boom 500, delete this. We need a pullback here. We may enter from here or enter from this trend line, the buys. So how are we going to do it? Or actually it gave us this pullback, so we can enter a sell. I believe we can make an entry for the sell. Yeah, I think we can. I think we can. Why not? Let me make that sell entry, and I'll put my stop loss just above there, and I will look for my TP right here. That is where I will look for my TP. So yeah, that's it. I've entered my sell on boom 500 right about there, so I don't want to risk a lot. You can see my stop loss is always very tight. I've entered on M5, and I'm looking for that move. It may continue and go all the way down below. That will be my second TP, but I will be gladly taking my profits right here on my first TP. Oh, actually that would be the second TP. The first TP would be here. Your first TP would be this. The reason why I give you TPs is to always secure what the market has already given you. If you're okay with that profit when it reaches here, please move out. Don't always hold for long markets, trades. If the market has given you some money, don't drag and wait for so long. Take what the market has given you, move out. That is what I'm talking about here. So if it comes here, why would you wait for much more? Just take what the market has given you and move out. Wait for another move, wait for another trade. It is okay to you count what the market has already given you, what you've closed, not what you actually anticipating. That's not how the market works. So that is the trade there, the sell trade that we've entered on boom 500. V25s, we need a pullback there so that we can come in with our sell. I told you we are going to sell this only and only if it gives us a confirmation and a good entry. So for now, no business. This one right here, I told you the buy is still on, but I'm skeptical to enter it, so I may not enter it actually, but we have a break of structure right there, so that's why I'm still skeptical to make that that buy entry, but we are likely to continue with the buy to even break and actually change the trend according to daily and weekly time frame. Jump 50. I need this. If price goes below my 10 MA, I will enter a sell on. If price goes below my 10 MA on M15, yeah, if it does that on M15, I will enter a sell. So for now, no business. J25. All right, I think we are in business. Can we enter this sell now? Can we enter this sell? Price is not yet below our 10 MA, but can we enter it? Let's go to H1. Okay, not ready really. Not yet. If I make an entry here, I'll be risking, but now it has touched that level 2 times, so why not? Let's see, why not? H1 is still in a buy trend. M30 looking for sell. I'm going to risk this one. This is one of This is a one-off thing that I'm going to do. So one-off. I have a signal on. No. Let me wait. Let me not be greedy. Let me just wait. According to M5, I will wait. I will enter when M5 goes below my 10 MA. That is when I will enter this sell, and I'll gladly enter it. So wait for M5 to be below my 10 MA, and that will be my confirmation of this sell on J25. J10, I told you, don't do anything, wait for the buys, so don't waste your time on it. Lastly is gold. I've told you we are going to be anticipating a pullback sell, so until then don't trade anything. Just wait for it to give you a reversal signal, probably on M5, then follow that. If you don't get one, it is going to continue buying, but it will not buy for so long. It will eventually give us a pullback sell, of which it will be coming back to this breaker block for us to get another entry to push us for the buys. So till then, don't waste your time on it. Wait for a reversal signal. Once you have one, then go for it, go for the sell. That's it for today. Hope you guys had a great time with me. Please don't forget to give us that like. Yeah, that thumbs up helps us a lot. We appreciate it. Otherwise, have a good day, guys. I hope you had a great time. Trade when you have all the confirmations that you always wait for. Don't rush into making unwanted decisions, yet you know you have the confirmations that you always wait for. So until you get at least 3 or 4 confirmations that you always wait for, don't make that decision to enter the trade. Otherwise, I hope to see you tomorrow same time, 10:30 to 11:30. Today is a Tuesday, so we are going to have a BTC analysis at 10 minutes past 1 p.m. East African time. Have a good day. Bye bye.